9/11 was not only an awful event that made Americans realize the threat of terrorism, it changed the way the government acts to end that threat. Post 9/11 America has changed drastically to combat terrorism domestically and internationally. The American government has implemented many strategies to combat the extremists, including the Patriot Act, the War on Terror, and more recently, drone strikes. Under the Bush administration, drone technology was in its infancy. Bush used the technology internationally with virtually no disapproval because the majority of America had no idea the US had this type of technology. The word is out, however, with Obama, or so we think. The theme of tonight's show is the mounting evidence of how Barack Obama is becoming, or already is, an imperial president. America, you will learn more about drone strikes and Obama's miscues within these 60 minutes. One of the first things Americans learn about the government is the Bill of Rights, and the first thing on that list is freedom of speech and freedom of the press, in addition to others. For a few hundred years now, Americans have had these fundamental rights with almost no oversight. At least, this is what the Americans believe to be the case. Recently, the Justice Department under Obama has been in the midst of a scandal of checking phone and email records illegally for writers so they do not publish certain information. As mentioned before, Americans hold the right to freedom of speech and freedom of the press. More on this later. Social media has caused quite the controversy all over the world, from the Egypt to the Libya riots. But something about a YouTube video causing a raid of a diplomatic building in Benghazi, Libya, was fishy. The United States government would not lie to its people about an issue like this. Wrong. Although Obama and his staff said this was in response to the video, it really was a planned terrorist attack by extremist Muslims. This event is a prime example of Obama withholding information from the people of the United States. If he does not tell the truth on something like this, how do we know he is not withholding more information? The United States is a democracy and the people deserve to hear the truth. Obama not doing this is an example of him abusing his powers, not doing his job, and becoming an imperial president. I'm Steve Croft. I'm Leslie Stahl.
I'm Morley Safer.
I'm Bob Simon.
I'm Lara Logan.
And I'm Scott Pelley. Those stories and more on 60 Minutes. Barack Obama won the 2008 presidential election with the theme of change. He has not broken his promise since. Obama, however, has changed for the worse in many categories, including drone strikes. Under Bush, approximately 50 drone strikes were performed during his 2 terms. So far, Obama has already performed more than 300 drone strikes through 1 and less than a quarter of another term. This is not the change Americans voted for, the change to become an imperial president. The term imperial president is used loosely in today's society with no set definition. All the varieties, however, have one similarity, and that is that the president is not fulfilling his responsibility of the leader of the United States. One may think this is an extreme statement, but let me talk to the author of Conceal and Consent, David Sanger, about Obama's behavior with the rising threat of terror and national security. Hello, David. Thank you for spending your time with us today. It is my pleasure, Scott. Let's get down to business. In your novel, you connected the similarities between drone strikes and the cyber war under the Obama administration. Yes, the 2 operations are surprisingly similar in that before Obama, these 2 techniques were not commonly used throughout American government. So you are comparing the situation Obama's in with the 2 operations to that of George Washington being the first to set precedent with the government of the United States? Yes, actually, the 2 are similar in that no one had these opportunities before them. The difference, however, is that Washington did not overuse the powers given to him when he was elected the first president of the United States. Obama, on the other hand, is overusing his powers to an extent that he is authorizing assassinations of American citizens. So let me get this straight. You are saying that Obama is taking advantage of the lack of precedent with his drone strike operations and cyber war operations and acting as an imperial president? Yes, Scott, that is exactly what I am saying. Thank you for your time, David. The pleasure was all mine, Scott. I would like to personally thank David Sanger for taking time out of his day to spend with us. From one journalist to another now, I am now going to talk to Huffington Post writer and a devout liberal, Carla Sequist, about her take on Obama's most recent actions. Carla is a huge supporter of Obama, but her support has changed recently due to the drone strike situation. Hello, Carla. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me, Scott.
As I told the audience, Carla, you would classify yourself as a huge Obama fan, correct?
Yes, that is correct, Scott. I have voted and supported Mr. Obama for both elections, and am a huge admirer of his.
Something recently has changed your mindset of him. Isn't that right?
Yes, Scott. The amount of scandals coming to light recently with the Obama administration has been very devastating to his fan club. But nothing more hurtful to me is his actions with drone strikes. I acknowledge that drone strikes save having to put humans on the ground to do the same thing, but the numbers are out of control.
Do you know how many drone strikes have been launched since Obama has taken power in his first term?
By checking with my sources, I believe the tally is near 400 drone strikes.
Wow, that's a large number. How are you and your fellow Democrats taking this news?
We are definitely not taking it lightly. Talking with my friends, we have lost respect for Obama abusing his powers. We also were saying if he were a Republican, the Democrats would be up in arms with his abuse of executive power.
Would you, Carla, say that Obama is abusing his executive powers and becoming an imperial president?
Yes. Yes, I would.
I would like to take a step back from the path we are on in this show and discuss the authorization needed to order a drone strike. Although it may change soon, drone strikes for the past couple of years have been done through the CIA. The first problem with this is that the CIA is an intelligence agency and not a military department. One might ask why the CIA is then in charge of foreign drone strikes. The reason for this is the CIA is not in charge of making the decision at all. They just follow the orders. Obama himself, most of the time, makes the decisions in his weekly Terror Tuesday meetings with his staff. At these meetings, Obama is given intel to decide what is necessary to initiate a covert drone strike to kill these people. Coming out recently, however, it turns out Obama does not know who the people are more than not when he allows a strike to happen. He might know the names, but he certainly does not tell even the CIA who they are, because in most operations given to the CIA, the target is listed as other. This other could mean militant or more often a civilian. But Obama does not want any civilians to die. That is why, in the last 100 or so drone strikes, only one listed civilian death, when the number of other deaths is in the hundreds. Obama spoke recently at the National Defense University about his obsession with drone strikes and how he would cut down on its use. Let's talk to Attorney General Holder about this new Obama and the inside scoop on the Obama administration. Thank you for your time, Attorney General Holder. Please make this as quick as possible. First question. Do you appreciate all the blame put on you recently with all these scandals? Of course I do not appreciate the negativity, but it is part of my job. Is it part of your job to control Obama's mind and for him to tell you what to do? Why, no, that's impossible. Exactly my point, Mr. Holder. It was not your choice to do what you did with the phone records and, more importantly, drone strikes. No, it was not my choice, but it's part of my job. Is it part of your job to take the blame for Obama abusing his powers? No, that is not in my job description. Then why are you doing it, Attorney General Holder? Obama is using you as a scapegoat for all of this. Tell America the real story about drone strikes. Obama orders drone strikes for anyone known to have associated with anyone in Al-Qaeda or the Taliban. That is all information Obama needs to send a drone out. He is a trigger-happy man who abuses his executive powers. The majority of those killed by the drones are civilians, but he hides the facts by categorizing them as other. He has even killed at least 4 American citizens with drone strikes. Thank you, Mr. Holder. You do not have to answer this, but would you say Obama is nearing the title of an Imperial president? Yes. Thank you very much, Attorney General, for your time. Thank you. With the substantial evidence gained through 3 interviews with 3 people who have different perspectives, I believe it is pretty clear. What do you think, America? Log on to cbsnews.com/60minutes to answer a national poll on whether Obama is abusing his executive powers. While on the website, view the 60 Minutes Overtime interview with Attorney General Holder, with a more detailed description of his view on drone strikes and the real story with the phone records scandal. Back to this story, however. How has Obama's abuse with drone strikes in fact potentially hurt national security in the future? Other countries watching the situation now think to themselves that they can use drones wherever and whenever they please. The technology is not solely American, so other countries have the opportunity. Due to the slyness of drone strikes and the level of difficulty to purchase one, the opponent of America does not have to be another country even. Radical terrorist groups potentially already have drones to use against the United States. The owner does not even have to be part of a group per se. Individual radicals could acquire a drone and supply it with modern-day weapons with ease. With the increase in domestic terrorism lately, nothing is out of the question. Overall, in an attempt to combat terrorism, Obama might have brought on a new wave of terrorism due to his careless abuse of executive and national power. Who knows what is to come now, America? I'm Scott Pelley. This is 60 Minutes. And good night, America.